After receiving your visa for temporary or permanent residency, what's next in the Mexican immigration process? What is the Canje procedure? And how do you go about obtaining your physical, temporary, or permanent resident card in Mexico?
In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about moving to Mexico. But first, let's roll the intro. Hola amigos, two gay expats here. I'm Andy.
And I'm Trey. If you are new to our channel, welcome and thanks for joining us. On this channel, we highlight our adventures around the world to inspire your travels, as well as to show you what places are really like if you are thinking of living, working, or retiring abroad.
If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our tips on moving to Mexico and our travel adventures.
In this video, we are taking you with us to the National Immigration Institute, or INM, which is the local Mexican immigration office, to complete the Canje process.
What's the Canje process?
It's the process to convert your 30-day temporary or permanent visa that was placed into your passport at the Mexican consulate into a physical resident card. It's this card that allows you to legally remain in Mexico, as well as, we learned the hard way this week, allows you access to the Mexican healthcare system, as well as huge discounts at private hospitals, but that's a topic for another day.
All right, so you've applied for temporary or permanent residency, traveled to a Mexican consulate, and received a residency visa in your passport. Now what?
You have 180 days to enter Mexico to complete part 2 of the process. If you want to learn more about part 1, check out our Mexican immigration video that will pop for you in the info card above and in the description below. In it, we discuss the pros and cons of residency versus remaining a tourist, including the requirements and costs associated with legally moving to Mexico. Once you have your residency visa and enter Mexico, head over to the residence line and not the tourist line.
At Cancun International Airport, we were literally first in line. The tourist line had hundreds of people there.
When we were waved up to the immigration officer, we gave her our visa. We showed her our visa first and told her we were trying to complete the Canje process for permanent residency. She looked a little confused, called over one of her colleagues who asked us if we were here to work, and we said, no, we're here to retire. And she said, okay. They checked the Canje box for the 30-day visa that you have, and then we were free to go. So it was actually a relatively easy process on arrival.
Also, in case it's not clear, the Canje box for official use only is on the Multiple Migratory Form, or FMM. It's the same form you use as a tourist.
Again, it's extremely important to show your residency visa on arrival, as you don't want to get approved as a tourist. And now comes the fun part, the hard part, getting an appointment at INM. We've heard a lot of conflicting information on getting an appointment at INM. And our Spanish is not that great to navigate locally here on our own, so we hired an immigration attorney to help us with this part of the process.
Evidently, the INM appointment system has been down in most, if not all, of the country. We were warned we may have to line up at 2:30 a.m. to get one of 10 appointments available each day in Playa del Carmen, where we are completing the process.
So it's critical to do whatever it takes. Luckily, our attorney asked us to just send her our passports and our FMMs on arrival when we returned back to Mexico, and she was able to get us an appointment the next week if we were going to expedite and pay another 400 USD per person, or we could just wait and do the normal process and get an appointment later in the month, which is what we opted for to save the $800 between the two of us. So it turned out to be, I think, 4 weeks until we got our appointment, so that is where we are today. We are headed over to our immigration attorney's office this morning, the day before our appointment, which is at INM tomorrow, just to learn a little bit more about the process and, of course, pay all of our fees and make sure our paperwork and everything is in order.
You ready to go in?
All right, so we are here at our immigration attorney's office. It is just a block from the actual immigration office that we need to be at tomorrow morning. So we've done our dry run, so that's good. So let's head in now and find out a little bit more about this process, which seems very much like a black box.
Let's go.
Well, that was easy. What'd you think of the process?
It was really nice to have it explained and the paperwork handled. And
Yeah, we were surprised she actually went ahead and paid for our permanent residency visas, or not visas, the residency card already, which was 5,776 pesos for the permanent resident card. So that was nice. That's already handled, and we just filled out our paperwork really and signed the application, answered a few questions about like our background, where we went to school and things like that, and where our permanent residence is in the US. So that is all handled. The process, though, is a little different than I expected. We first will go tomorrow morning to hand in our paperwork, and then we get an email later in the day with a number and a day to come back a couple of days later to then do our biometrics. The biometrics do not happen tomorrow, the fingerprinting and whatnot. That's a couple days from now, and then it's gonna be 3 weeks until we get our actual resident card after that. But we learned that our neighbor got this in a day, all of it in a day, but she said, oh, he must have paid more. So yeah, if you do the expedited fee for $400 more per person, you can get everything done in 1 day tomorrow. I didn't know that actually, but anyways, we're here, so we have plenty of time to do it this way and save $400 a person.
See?
Hola amigos, good morning. We are headed from the beautiful Playa Car neighborhood over to the INM office this morning to meet with Adriana, our immigration attorney. She's gonna take all of our paperwork and our passports in for processing. We actually just get to sit at a little cafe next door just in case they need us, but I don't think we're getting our biometrics today unless they call us to do that. We should get an appointment in a couple of days to come back for that. So that is where we're off to now.
Let's go.
At 8 a.m., an hour before opening, there is already a decent line at INM.
We wait outside to pass our passports and FMMs to Adriana. Then we head next door to a cute cafe called Bella Ciao.
A huge plus about this cafe is the owner, who is great to practice your Spanish with.
We order a couple of Americanos and enjoy some delicious tiramisu.
Around noon, we order the homemade pasta of the day, which is super flavorful. It's been at least 5 hours now at Bella Ciao, so we decided to pay our bill and move next door for the next step in the process.
On arrival, we are granted access to the waiting room inside, and after a few hours, it's our turn to collect our passports before completing our biometrics.
Good news, we not only got all of our application processed, we actually were able to score, I guess, last minute biometrics. So we have everything done now. It was an all-day affair. We've been here for 8 hours in total. We got here at 8 a.m. I think we had breakfast, we had lunch, we had dessert.
At the same cafe.
Yeah, the same cafe with like 5 coffees that we were able to get in. Biometrics are done. I think it's 2 weeks until we are able to come back and pick up our permanent resident card. But our immigration specialist, it sounded like maybe we could get it tomorrow, so we'll see. Fingers crossed, but yeah, 2 weeks is perfect. We thought it was gonna be a month or more to get everything sorted because we had to come back for a second time to get our biometrics, so this is really great news. So, very excited right now.
Well, it turns out it did in fact take 2 weeks. Our immigration specialist just let us know that our cards are available for pickup today at 3:30 p.m. So, we're on our way to INM. There we have it.
Woohoo! We have our cards finally. So exciting. To recap and give you our final thoughts, the process definitely requires patience. You need patience to find an online appointment with a Mexican consulate, as well as patience to obtain your physical resident card.
The entire process took us about 5 months in total. Here's our timeline so you can track our entire experience. We could have shortened the second half, the Canje procedure completed in Mexico, to less than a week by paying $400 more per person to expedite it. So if you don't have the time, we highly recommend this route.
Our last recommendation is to hire an immigration specialist for a few $100s. Ours cost $325 each and was worth every penny. She kept us fully informed of every step in the second half of the process. We completed the first part in the US on our own.
Well, that's it for our second video on the Mexican immigration process. We hope you found it helpful. If you did, it would be awesome if you could smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Hasta luego.